It is a great day to be alive, and I am so thankful for God, Jesus Christ, who lives in us. Today's video is titled, The Flight of the B&B Tiger and Lunc. This is part 2 to a video that I did titled Terraphilia. This is Terraphilia part 2. If you have not seen the first one, it is outlined here in red on our title page. Before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing that I'm sharing is financial advice. I'm simply sharing dreams, visions, and interpretations that I feel God's given me as it relates to crypto. Now let's get into the video. So a few weeks back, I shared a dream about teraphilia. I woke up after hearing a message in this dream, and the word teraphilia was in that message. Not knowing what in the world teraphilia meant, I began to pray about it, and God led me into doing research. Now, teraphilia, when I saw the word as I wrote it out, it reminded me of terror. So I knew that this was a Lunc dream. Prior dreams and videos that I shared with you guys had to do with this Luna and bee, this reoccurring theme of bees. And in addition to that, the B&B Tiger dream, all tying in things having to do with both Luna and B&B Tiger. As far as this dream goes, there was nothing short of being different with this. It still showed us the Luna and B&B Tiger connection. And as I began to do my research, looking at this teraphilia, so in case you missed it, really quickly, in this dream, I was told the message, tell the electric company that teraphilia is not a diagnosis, it is a threat. The person's voice sounded like Cat Williams. I explained that as I began to do my research, I began to start with Cat Williams. Things that he was most popular for the past few years had to do with him being on Club Shay Shay Show, talking about the exposures of different ones in Hollywood. So I started there. The electric company, Hollywood. This took me to a show called The Electric Company, 1971. And within this show, there were two individuals that I've noticed, Morgan Freeman and Bill Cosby. From there, I began to ask the question, which of these two people has a terraphilia or a love for the earth? That's what terraphilia means, a love of the earth. And out of the two, I came to find out that Morgan Freeman was that individual who had this terraphilia love of the earth because he converted his 124-acre ranch into a bee sanctuary to help save the bees. This alone tied in with our bee theme that all began with my dream that I shared about Luna and the bee sting. More research was done on this word terraphilia, and I came across a 2025 art exhibit. This exhibition would take us to the museum where Daniela Zeman would be the director of. And in 2025, it was the Terraphilia exhibition. And I shared this artwork that showed two tigers, one breaking out, the other one looking to be captured. This tied in with the B&B Tiger dream because in my B&B Tiger dream, one tiger broke out, the other one did not. And also in this painting, you will also see the moon. Here, the moon representing, again, Luna. So in one art piece, we have both B&B Tiger and Luna being seen. But what we have to keep in mind is that this one art piece is a collection of several different art pieces titled Beyond the Human. And I will share now the various parts of this particular painting. Again, there were several different ones. And one in particular that we're going to focus on came from the research of a subscriber. And that research will be on this particular piece that has to do with these two tigers, the pomegranate, and the fish. I had a subscriber reach out to me through email and share with me some research of their own. They took the time to do more detailed research on this particular painting, focusing on the two tigers. This brought them to a man named Salvador. They pointed out a May 11th birthday, which, as you guys know, there are times when birthdays are very significant. Being that this birthday has not come about just yet, we can still put this in the forefront of our mind, this date of May 11th. And then with everything, continue to pray about it. And let's see how God lead as far as that goes. And getting to his portion of the painting in that particular art piece, the Terraphilia art piece, they came across this as well. Salvador Dali's distinctive style is evident in the elaborately named dream caused by the flight of the bee around the pomegranate a second before waking up. This is the name of that piece. The flight of the bee takes us back to Luna and that bee theme again connecting us with these two tigers, the same two tigers like in my dream. One broke out, the other did not. So in this particular artwork by Salvador, it is a painting of his wife. But where is the bee? Well, if you look really closely and squint one eye, the bee and the pomegranate, you have an arrow here and have it circled. You may be able to see it better if you went and looked this up to kind of find that bee next to that pomegranate. But the bee and the pomegranate of the title hovers below her body. Apparently there was also a rifle along with the fish and the tiger. I read this several times. I still don't really get it, but it's art. And I guess if you got it the first time, maybe, I don't know. But what I do know is that it confirms what we've been saying all along. I had no idea that a bee was a part of this particular picture, because in the Terraphilia collage, you don't see the pomegranate in the bee, unless I missed it, but I don't think that the pomegranate in the bee is there. So thank you to that subscriber who took the time to do that research to find out something very unique, something very profound, and something that was very needful in building, again, that faith and showing more confirmation in what God has already been saying about this connection between B&B Tiger, Luna, and this reoccurring theme about Luna and the bee. Something else that I want to share that someone left in the comment section has to do with Isaiah 7:18-20. So thank you to the person who left this comment. Isaiah 7 verses 18-20. Chapter 7, God has sent Isaiah and his son to meet Judah's king Ahaz. Tell him that the invasion that's been planned against him will not happen. No need to fear, it will not happen. What man has planned to do will not overturn his plans. We have to keep that in mind when it comes down to everything that we're believing God for with this wealth transfer. And God goes on to say, if you will not believe, surely you will not be established. So he's telling King Ahaz, if you will not believe, surely you will not be established. Surely this thing will not happen for you if you can't believe. And that's no different from you and I believing God, taking God at his word when he says that Luna is going to take off, when he says that B&B Tiger is going to break out. Are we going to believe it? If we can believe it, then he will establish it. But if we cannot believe it, then surely it will not be established. Then God tells Isaiah to tell the king to ask him of a sign. Go and tell the king to ask me for a sign. Ask me for a form of confirmation that I am going to keep you safe from all of the plans of your enemy. And the king says, no, I will not tempt God with asking him for a sign. That was where he messed up. If God is nudging you in your spirit to ask him for a sign, he's inviting you to do that. Not so that you can show that you're doubting him. I'm asking him for a sign. He's already said it. Now I'm asking for a sign. No, if he said it and he's nudging you to ask him for a sign, that's your invitation. Ask him. And because the king refused to ask him for a sign, he still gave him one anyway. Therefore, the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, a virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us. When I saw Emmanuel, I thought about the Luna Mama dream. I thought about my classmate in that dream, Emmanuel, over in that baby crib wearing those sunglasses at night. And then I thought about Macron, Emmanuel Macron, wearing those shades or sunglasses inside during the Davos convention. I probably just said it wrong, but he had his shades on, giving his speech, looking all weird. All that was connected to Luna. Getting back, and bear a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel, which means God with us. And because the king did not ask God for a sign, all these things will follow because of his disobedience. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall hiss for the fly that is in the uttermost part of the rivers of Egypt, and for the bee that is in the land of Assyria. And you can read that, the rest of that in its entirety. But the ending does not sound great for this king, because he refused to ask God for a sign after God had commanded him to. God had invited him to ask him for a sign. It wasn't the king's desire to tempt the Lord by asking for a sign or confirmation, but it was still disobedience. This reminded me of the story of David when he was putting the ark of God on a new cart instead of on the shoulders of the priest as he had been instructed. And as they're walking along celebrating, the ox shook and the ark began to fall, and Uzzah put up his hands to stop the glory of God from falling, and God killed him because he touched the ark. He was commanded. They were all commanded not to touch the ark. Uzzah meant well. He wanted to protect the presence of God, but God don't need our protection. It's the other way around. We need his protection. Obedience is better than sacrifice. We've all heard that one before. So in this case with the king, it was the same way. Obedience was better than sacrifice. God invited him. God commanded him to ask for a sign. So looking back at all of this teraphilia, it is clear from this Luna bee theme that God has given us signs and much confirmation concerning what he's going to do with the price for both Luna and B&B Tiger. God has instructed someone to ask him for a sign, to ask him for confirmation, and he's doing it. Just like with this post. Someone added this in the comment section. They said that on their MetaMask, their B&B Tiger had a glitch. And when they looked at their wallet, they saw that there were only 4 or 5 zeros left. And they took this as a sign of confirmation. Could this person have been asking God for a sign of confirmation and it came by way of a glitch and them open up their wallet seeing this? Yes, I agree. I look at this also as further confirmation. Asking God to confirm something or asking God for a sign in order to strengthen our faith is not a bad thing. But we must take that confirmation and put it up against the charts when Lunc and B&B Tiger may not seem to be doing much. In other words, I feel that God is saying, now that the confirmation has come, what will you do with it? I want to say thank you once again to that individual who sent me that email, giving me further information on what God is revealing about Terraphilia, about that painting, identifying the bee also within the same picture as the tigers. It's just simply amazing what God is doing here for us. And again, let's take these forms of confirmation. Let's put it up against what God has already said and wait for the promise to be fulfilled. That is all that I have for this video. Until the next one, God bless.